This is KDPS 88.1, and this is Lamar until midnight. And since we have Switch Week this week, Matt is not allowed to talk, which is a big relief after his 1 hour session earlier. Well, we have some odd and weird news coming up, some fun facts, and of course, some awesome music. So stay tuned on KDPS 88.1. This is KDPS 88.1, and let's start off with some news. I was thinking about local news. There was last month in February, there was a guy that stole a coin that was worth $8,000, and he stole this from a jewelry shop on Merle Road. Now he stole this, and last Friday he suddenly decided, well, it is probably a good idea to return the place where I stole this coin. Of course, an employee recognized him. They went after him. They caught him, and he's arrested now. So, I just would like to point out the intelligent level of this suspect. Darwin would definitely be proud of him. I mean, the Pope doesn't walk into a Catholic church, sits in the back row, and hopes no one recognizes him, right? Well, speaking of which, we got a new Pope. His name is Pope Francis. His real name is George Mario Bergoglio, I guess, if I pronounce that correctly. He's the 266th Pope of the Catholic Church, and he was the first that it was not from Europe. Now, what is more interesting, though, I find at least, is how they elect a Pope. Think about it. They go into this little cathedral. They lock themselves in. No one gets in. No one gets out. And no one knows what exactly is going on inside. But once in a while, there's like white smoke coming out of the building. Let's just say there's a theory I have in my head. It just sounds like illegal substances. But since it's only a theory, it's not based on real facts. Just for all you Catholics out there, I'm one too. So, well, let's go on with Sweat on KDPS 88.1. This is KDPS 88.1, and I got two weird stories coming up. This one is actually my favorite. Car disappeared on Monday. It got stolen, and a cop saw the car on a street. So, of course, it tried to follow it, and the driver took off. It ended with a crash in someone's yard. The driver got arrested. Now, the driver who got arrested was 14 years old. Imagine that. 14 years old. The driver did say he knew the car was stolen, but he also said that he did not steal the car. What is interesting to me about this story, though, and this part kind of surprised me. He got charged with second-degree theft. Okay? Makes sense, right? But I wonder if the cop actually looked at his driver's license and noticed anything suspicious, like, well, he's 14, so he doesn't have a driver's license. Don't you think he should get charged for that too? Well, another story that stood out to me today was that the Iran is suing the producers of Argo. This was interesting because apparently it gives the wrong image of their country, so they want to sue the producers of Argo. Now, please, someone inform Germany and Russia about this. With all the bad German guys out there in movies, and with all the bad Russian guys out there in movies, I would assume that Germany and Russia can make millions off of suing Hollywood for them being the bad guys all the time. Well, up next, I'm going to tell you a little story about fun facts I saw today. And we have punk rockers coming up on 88.1 KDPS. This is KDPS 88.1 with me, Lamar, and I did promise you funny statistics tonight. So, let's look at our first one. The first statistic I found said 43% of all pilots admit to falling asleep during a flight. Now, it doesn't seem that bad. Of course it does seem bad, but it doesn't seem that bad because there's always a co-pilot, right? So while the pilot is sleeping, the co-pilot can fly the plane because obviously that's what he's there for, to help out the pilot. Now, the other statistic I found was this: 33 of the co-pilots reported, of the pilots reported waking up to find their co-pilots had fallen asleep as well. Now that is pretty bad. Well, I guess you have a third pilot, and it's the most famous one because that's who's flying the plane all around the world, and that's the autopilot. I don't think it can fall asleep, but of course landing and starting is not going to be done by an autopilot. On the other side, the new Airbus 360, I believe it is, actually has a computer that could help someone land a plane, that plane, without them knowing how to do it. Well, I got a story for you. I fly a lot. I fly from Europe and back. And this is my pilot story I find really disturbing a little bit. I was in Atlanta. I was on a small plane waiting to fly to Des Moines. Well, we had about an hour delay and no one could tell us what was going on. We were inside of the plane. I had my seat. I even had a drink. And no one knew what was going on. Why the delay? Why is the door still open? Well, in comes this guy just chirping and laughing. And he had this casual shirt on and jeans. And he's like, takes the telephone or the microphone for the plane, speaks to the whole crew and to the people on board, says, well, I am sorry, I'm the pilot for you for this plane tonight. And we all look at him like, you're not even dressed to be a pilot, so what just happened? He was like, well, I got a call about 20 minutes ago that the other pilot got sick and that I have to fly this plane too. And then he stopped. He just stopped. He turned around and he said this to the stewardess. I'm sorry, flight attendant. He said, where are we going? And of course, everyone was shocked at that moment. They were like, what is going on? And the flight attendant gave him a little paper and he tried to read it. And he said, Des Moines. And he was like, yep, this could be an interesting flight. And walked into the cockpit. I was scared. I was honestly scared. Well, next up, we're going to have Look at Me Now by Chris Brown. This is KDPS 88.1 with me, Lamar, until midnight. So we got 15 minutes left. I'm so excited. Well, next up, we have a story I read today on CNN. And it actually said that American Microsoft staff is moving over to Europe. Okay, but Microsoft gives them a 44-page instruction manual how to live in Europe. Specifically, in this case, England. Now, we all know chips and French fries are different in England. But in this manual, it actually explains the whole thing. It also explains that pubs are more than just plain bars. And a serving or chippies are more than just fast food stores. Now, of course, I had to jump on the internet and find the dumbest instruction manuals there are out there. And I would like to start with this one. On a frozen dinner, it can say, serving suggestion, defrost. Well, I just got one comment for that. Duh. Of course, you gotta defrost it before you eat it. Well, I found another one, and it said, this was found in the car manual. It actually said this: in order to get out of the car, unlock the door before opening the door. Well, no, of course not. You have to crawl out the window. But you need to find the instruction manual on how to open the window first, obviously. Well, then this one was found on a chainsaw, and this is pretty funny. It said, do not attempt to stop chains with your hands. Yeah, I suggest gloves, like the really thin leather gloves. Since it says you can't stop it with your fingers, just use gloves, man. And then this one is pretty good too. This one, it says this on Christmas lights. It says, for indoor and outdoor use only. Well, what is between indoor and outdoor use? Obviously nothing, unless they're talking about underwater use. Duh. Well, let's move on with a little bit of Kid Rock on 88.1 KDPS. This is KDPS 88.1, and we got 10 minutes left, and that's enough for 2 stories. Now, this is about a video that went viral a couple of months ago. There's this guy in Australia at the beach. So he sees this fin coming out of the water, heading towards children. He jumps in, grabs the shark by the fin, and drags him out to deeper water. A hero, right? A national hero. This video went around the world. Everyone saw it. So did his employer. He saw it too. And he was on sick leave. So they fired him right away. Poor hero. Kind of like my other story I have. There's this guy that hopped the fence. He was running from the cops. And he hopped the fence of a guy. He was sitting in his front lawn. And he was like, I'm running from the cops. Can you help me? The guy was like, of course I can help you. Come inside. Sit inside. Hide inside. Well, what the kid did not know, who was running from the cops, is that person he jumped into the yard was a cop. He probably should have known after he walked in and there were pictures plastered with him in the uniform or with the police radio on the table. But the kid did not notice. He sat down. He felt comfortable. He took off his shirt to wipe off his sweat. And of course, the cop called the cops. So a lot of cops appeared in his front yard. And the kid says to the cop, was like, oh no, what are we going to do now? And the cop responds to him, I don't know what I'm going to do, but you're going to get arrested. I'm a cop. Well, that was the 2 last stories for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed your evening, and stay tuned on KDPS 88.1.
Good evening, everyone. You're listening to The Edge 88.1 KDPS with Marshall.
And I'm Lamar, the guy with the accent.
And Lamar, today is February 29th of 2012. And as we all know, 2012 marks a leap year. So I'm just really curious, what'd you do with those extra 24 hours that you've had today?
I really wish I could say I've done something special today, but I actually did not. I went to school, I worked, and that's all, the usual.
That's it.
I did notice, though, that it was a bad day for me. My grades went down, customers seem to be mad at me all the time, but what can you do?
I know, sometimes days just go like that, and it's unfortunate that your extra day that you have in this year had to be like that, but as we all know, March is a lucky month, so hopefully things will look up, right?
Yeah, but I guess you have to be unlucky before you can be lucky.
Yeah, well,
that working?
I guess so. I just always think I'm unlucky.
You're always unlucky. How's that?
I don't know. I just say that. I just think that. That's just how it is. And then when I get lucky, then I feel really good. That's why.
How about some positive thinking sometimes? Wouldn't that help your day a little bit too?
Maybe a little bit. All right. I like your thinking.
You like my thinking?
I do. Yep. Yes, sir. But do you have any special plans for March?
For March, well, I'm actually going to Phoenix, Arizona in the spring break, but I don't want to get into details about that. I'll tell you afterwards. How about you? Are you planning anything for spring break?
No, I'm just planning on going home, so I'm looking forward to it.
Where's home?
Villisca, Iowa.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard they have a nice haunted house down there.
Yes, everyone asked me about that, so it's a pretty big deal to everyone else except the people in Villisca. It's kind of like, whatever. It's just the normal, you know?
But is it true? Have you ever tried it?
I've been in there. I don't think it's very haunted, but
you're supposed to stay a whole night in that house to see if it's haunted.
It's like $250 though, and I don't have that kind of cash flow right now.
$250?
Yeah, just to stay a night.
Maybe if you start thinking a little bit positive, you get the money together. How's that?
Maybe I need a job like you, but I don't know if I want to work around unhappy customers.
You can deal with it. You'll get used to it as long as you're friendly. They're friendly. Positive thinking.
I'll work on that. Up next, we've got Troubadour by George Strait.
This is The Edge, 88.1 KDPS. I'm Lamar, the guy with the accent.
And I'm Marshall. And Lamar, I just learned of some wacky news. A North Carolina man has been confirmed dead after incinerating himself following a terrible, terrible mistake. Gary Allen Banning accidentally drank a jar filled with gasoline.
Gasoline? How could he not notice drinking gasoline? I do not understand that part.
I have no idea either. Apparently, he just had it sitting by his kitchen sink, and he took a sip of it and spit it out on his clothes. And he's a smoker, and he didn't change clothes afterwards. And later, he lit a cigarette, and it just caught flames, and he incinerated himself in fire while lighting that cigarette.
I got 2 questions for him then. If he knows smoking can kill, why is he smoking? And second of all, what was the gasoline doing by the sink?
Apparently, he has got a mechanic living in his house, and like with grease or oil stains, gasoline works really well as a solvent to clean those hands, because soap and water doesn't do the trick. And I actually have first-hand experience with this living on a farm. When we work on our large equipment and we go out there, we're changing oil or we're messing around with the engine, we get a little grease on us, the soap and water doesn't take it off, and it'll stay on there for a few days if you don't get some gasoline on there and scrub away at it. So we'll actually bring that jar of gasoline into our house and set it by our kitchen sink when we do that. So that's kind of freaky. That kind of hits close to home,
But you would notice right away if you drank gasoline. I mean, you would smell it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, you think about it. You go up to the gas pumps and all you smell is gasoline or diesel or whatever. Like, fuel has got a distinct smell. So I would think if he's, like, got it in a jar and he's raising it up to his mouth, I mean, I know it happens quickly, but wouldn't you, like, smell that gasoline to your nose?
Well, on the other side, there's some people that can't really smell anything. I have some friends, every time I say, oh, that smells like gasoline or smells like gas or anything else, they're like, I can't smell anything. But I guess gasoline, I mean, you would taste it at least.
Yeah, at least he spit it out, but I mean, he spit it out on his clothes, and you always see when you come up to the fuel pumps, you pull up, and you see a cigarette and a big no sign by it. No smoking. Obviously, it's a flammable substance, so...
Well, does anyone of your family smoke at home?
No, I have no one in my family that smokes, so luckily, I don't have to worry about if I spilled gasoline on myself, if I was doing that, washing my hands or whatever in the sink, that I wouldn't have to worry about that case happening, but, man, that's a freaky accident for sure, wouldn't you say?
Maybe you should just take away the gasoline from the sink. Just, that would solve the problem. You can even start smoking.
No, I'm going to stay away from the cancer sticks, but yeah, it might be a good idea to not have gasoline just sitting around in an open container. But next up, we've got Luke Bryan's Do I. Good evening, listeners. You're tuned in to The Edge 88.1 KDPS with Marshall.
And I'm Lamar, the guy with the accent.
And Lamar, what's your favorite restaurant? It's got to be McDonald's, right?
No, definitely not McDonald's.
Not a chance? Well, I'm kind of a fan of McDonald's, and I was reading up, and McDonald's is going to sell a deep-fried McRib in Austria. So if you like heart attacks and you like McRibs, you might want to book a quick vacation to the beautiful Austria, where McDonald's has launched, for a limited time only, may I add, a deep fat fried McRib. It's bacon-topped, sandwich with pepper jack cheese, lettuce, red onion, honey mustard, and spicy sweet chili sauce. Doesn't that sound appetizing?
It does sound kind of appetizing, but I don't really think they're going to stand a chance in Austria, because I'm actually from that area. I'm from Liechtenstein. It's a small country bordered on Austria.
You said that's got about 34,000 people?
Yeah, 34,000 people in my whole country.
So
11 towns.
That's like a city here.
Yeah, but however, we only have one McDonald's in our whole country.
One McDonald's? You're kidding me, right?
Nope. I'm serious. One McDonald's.
That is ridiculous to think about. I mean, that's our pride and joy here in the States.
Pride and joy of the McDonald's, right?
Basically, yeah, no, they make a big deal when the McRib comes back out or it's re-released every single time. I mean, you got the commercials, you got the radio ads, you got the banners, the limited time only stuff, everything. I mean, it's a big deal for avid McDonald's fans, but I mean, I don't know why they start out in Austria, out of all places. I mean, like, what's Austria got that we don't have? I mean, we're the quote-unquote obese people, so why wouldn't they let us test the deep fat fried McRib out first?
Maybe they have to try it in a different country first. I'm not sure what Austria would have. We don't have here. Maybe mountains, if you're talking Iowa.
What, they want to eat the McRib with a beautiful scene, or what? What's wrong with cornfields, huh?
Nothing's wrong. No, cornfields are
I'll
great to look at.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and this thing looks pretty appetizing to me. I mean, like, deep fat fried stuff to me is pretty good. I know it's not very healthy, obviously, but it's pretty good. And then, what man doesn't like bacon?
I know some people that don't like bacon.
Hey, no. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. Every man should like bacon.
Every man should like bacon?
Yeah, it should. It's like a man law.
Oh, I didn't read that anywhere. You sure?
Are you sure that? Yeah, I'm
What
positive
about
that's a man law.
vegetarians?
There's no such thing. They have
There's
to eat
no
bacon.
such thing.
That's right. That's their dessert.
I'm pretty sure
Bacon.
some listeners right now are getting pretty angry at you.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? But no, this thing looks mighty tasty, and I always wonder, like when McDonald's releases a new sandwich, how like a place like Burger King is going to counter. Like what are they going to come out with? What are they working on right now? That's going to compete with this. I mean, if it would catch fire, you know what I'm saying?
Well, they're going to come up with a burger called Deep Fried McBurger in Germany.
The king, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? So that's quite the interesting ordeal. So hopefully it catches fire in Australia and
will come to the United States someday.
Because I want to give this baby a test.
Maybe they should start off here.
Maybe I could get one airmailed to me, like shipped.
Well, I'll bring you one next time I go over. How about that?
When's the next time that you're going over?
Summer. Might be a while.
It might be a while. Maybe it won't catch on either, and then I'm never going to get the chance to try out this crumdiddly.
How would you just come with me?
I might as well. That sounds fun. I've never been to a foreign country.
It's pretty sweet.
But now you're listening to The Edge 88.1 KDPS with Lamar and Marshall. Up next, we've got You and I by Lady Gaga.
The Edge 88.1 KDPS. I'm Lamar, the guy with the accent, and this is
Marshall,
the guy with no accent?
No accent, my boy.
Ah, good one. Unfortunately, this hour is already over. We're going to be back next Wednesday, 7 till 8 o'clock, so tune back in. Next up is Hello World by Lady A. KDPS 88.1 The Edge. Today with me in the studio is Kevin. Kevin is student at Grandview and also working at the IT department, which makes him the perfect candidate to talk about the issues students seem to have on campus. So Kevin, as a student, what kind of issues have you heard of that is going on campus?
Some of the big issues that I've heard about this year mostly been, first of all, getting on the network. Registering with Bradford is sometimes a pain in the butt because it doesn't always see your computer is actually being authenticated when it should be, and it also just has issues with it not always communicating right when your computer is authorized. And the other issue that a lot of students are reporting to is the internet is just going really slow. And in a big corporate environment like this where we have hundreds of users online, the average online at a time is usually about 500 clients on the wireless. And just that amount of traffic is pretty phenomenal for one network controller system to be able to handle. So it's not necessarily Grandview's fault.
What about other campuses? I mean, I have some friends at Iowa State, and they're obviously a bigger school, and they never reported any Wi-Fi problems as far as I know. They said when I asked them last week that their Wi-Fi doesn't seem to be slow at all. It's just normal, just like at home.
Grandview actually has really good wireless coverage. I have some friends that are going off to campuses, and they don't even have wireless in their dorm rooms. They actually have to go by wire, or they have to go out in the lobby where it's the only wireless. So Grandview is very fortunate to have the amount of wireless coverage they do have.
So you're actually telling me the Grandview campus network is not as slow as everyone thinks it is. It just seems to the student it is as slow.
It's really not as slow as a lot of students think, because the school is getting 100 megabits in, which is a really fast connection. We're basically
compared to what 100 megabit is. What does that mean to us?
100 megabit is pretty much a really fast connection. At home, most users get maybe 5 or 10.
At home.
At home.
Mm-hmm.
When the school is getting a 100, and that's directly from a tier 1 line, which basically means it comes straight from the source. It's not going through all these other junctions to get to the main.
If we get that fast of an internet, why can't students use this fast internet?
Well, the way it kind of works is the internet is kind of like a street with houses. Each computer that's connected has its own IP address, which is basically their house number. And the mailman constantly has to deliver the packets, of which are the mail. Well, the problem is the street is only so wide. So as we get more and more mailmen delivering mail to different clients, it's going to get more crowded, slowing all the mailmen down because they can't deliver the packets as fast.
You told me before you're not actually going over the Grandview Wi-Fi, are you?
Well, I got approved from the IT department because I work with them, and I also run a computer repair business, that I need to have my own separate isolated network because I needed more reliability and security than what could be provided on a corporate scale network. So I actually run my own wireless access point, but no one's going to actually be able to see it because it's a hidden network name and it's encrypted. So I'm the only one who has access to it. And that goes through the Grandview internet still, but I plug it into the direct hardwire.
What if every student wants to do that? I mean, since we got so many complaints about the...
Well, in the past, Grandview did have it where students had to have their own wireless router, but they started having issues with students not plugging them in properly.
So you're actually telling me that you have to be somewhat skilled in IT to have such a network in your dorm?
Yes. For getting a private network to work inside of a public network, you have to make sure you take into consideration what the public network settings are when you configure your private one so you don't cause a network outage.
Thank you, Kevin, for being here with us on KDPS 88.1. This is Lamar.